Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
January 23, 2020, the CEO and Cell Phones edition. First up, from the New York Times, Mitsubishi Motors is under investigation in Germany for alleged emissions cheating. The company has been alleged to have programmed cars to cheat on emissions tests. Of course, this was first raised back in 2015 with the Volkswagen. The investigation is yet another setback for Renault, Nissan, and Mitsubishi Alliance, which is under severe strain since the arrest of Carlos Ghosn. Another diesel emission scandal could also weigh on the entire auto industry. Accusations of emissions cheating have been leveled against VW, Fiat Chrysler, and Daimler, and this has certainly hurt not only the reputations of the car makers, but also the Made in Germany brand, frankly. So it's also led to really a higher value and fierce pressure from Tesla and other emissions-free electric cars. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. From the Wall Street Journal, a very interesting story about the Grammys, as the now former Recording Academy CEO has filed a discrimination complaint just days before the Grammy Awards. Deborah Dugan says she was placed on administrative leave for raising concerns at the organization around improper influences on nominations for Grammy Awards, and that she was sexually harassed by her general counsel. It's very unusual to see a CEO file these complaints. She was placed on leave because of a complaint filed against her by an assistant. The assistant claimed that her management style was basically too bitchy, which is a fairly typical standard line used against high-profile women who get to the top, particularly when they want to get underlings want to have them pushed out. So Dugan claims that the complaint was a pretext for pushing her aside in retaliation for raising concerns with the Academy's Human Resources Department. So pretty ugly spat from the Grammys. Next up in our lead story today is how safe is your CEO's cell phone? If the putative ruler of Saudi Arabia sends you a text or a phone call or a WhatsApp, are you going to take it? Well, Jeff Bezos did, and it led to his cell phone being hacked. It's not clear if this was done with the approval of MBS or it was done surreptitiously by those in Saudi Arabia. Nevertheless, it raises a risk concern that probably most CEOs had not thought about before. What do you do when you get such a message from a world leader and it's used to put malware on your phone, which can lead to having your phone hacked? So pretty difficult situation. And our final story is the fallout from the Santos revelations continues as a PwC executive has left the firm after revelations. He did work for Isabel Santos and led that effort with the firm. Jamie Esteves was the head of tax in charge of Portugal, Angola, and Cape Verde before leaving the firm. Unfortunately, this will probably be the first of many such departures. PwC has a huge, and I mean huge, cream pie and egg on its face over this for its work for Dos Santos in basically looting Angola, as she is Africa's richest woman based upon the backs of the country. So we'll see where that goes. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks again for listening and joining us tomorrow.